Well, it's a pleasure to be joined once again here on GCR by an old friend. We don't know how we're going to feel like when he's lining up against the Baltimore Ravens this year, but we're forever going to root for him. He is former Navy defensive lineman, now Cincinnati Bengal. Landon Robinson, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Landon, it's Glenn. It's so good to see you, man. Thank you so much for taking the time for us.
Thank you so much for having me, Glenn. I appreciate your time.
Dude, I let me go back a little ways, right? Like when you show up at the Naval Academy for all sorts of different reasons, I don't know what you thought football future might look like, right?
Hmm.
To get the opportunity to hear your name called, to be out there, to be putting on the jersey, to be playing in a preseason game last week and looking really good, by the way.
Thank
Um,
you.
what has this experience meant to you, particularly given how unknown it may have been just a couple of years ago?
Yeah. Obviously when you go to the Naval Academy, service is first. Service is always something that is first, and it's still near and dear to my heart. But as a Division I football player, you always have that deep down, like, man, like if I'm good enough, maybe I could play in the NFL, maybe I can take that next step and make it happen. So, early on in my, Naval Academy career, it was always something that I always, worked hard for. I always, did the extra work and the extra lifts and extra, field work to make sure I could continue to get better so that each season I could, show out more and more. And, I was just blessed to be able to, play well enough my senior year to be recognized, in the NFL light and then eventually, get my name called in the draft. So it was such a blessing. And, now looking back on it, I'm just so blessed for all the people in my journey, at the Naval Academy, all the support, all the discipline and everything that the Academy has instilled in me has helped me get to this level. So I'm so thankful.
Landon, we all know what an athletic freak you are. Like we all know that you're just a different type of human. Did you have an amount of confidence that like, as long as people see me, I'm gonna be able to do this? Did you have that? Like, did you know that about yourself?
You always have that confidence that you can play at the collegiate level. You can play, but you always got to prove it. You have to prove it to yourself. You got to prove it to the people watching, and you just know the work that you've put in, right? That's all you can say. You have that confidence because of the work that you've put in. So having that confidence and believing in yourself, I think that's truly how you continue to get better. And you go out there and you have the confidence, and you go and play hard, and your best is going to be whatever you put out there. So yeah, you just always got to be focused and be locked in on that.
You, of course, you grew up in a part of Ohio that's a little bit like on the other side of Cincinnati. Have there been folks in your family, folks in your life that have maybe struggled with the idea of you putting on these particular colors? Has that been an issue at all?
No, no, actually, my dad is a big Bengals fan, so it's actually been awesome.
Really?
They've been super, elated that I'm playing for the Bengals, and and it's actually better than probably anywhere else I could have been. A lot of family can come, watch me play, versus all the other teams in the league besides Cleveland, of course. But it's cool that I'm close enough to home that a lot of people can come out and watch me play.
That's awesome, man. Landon Robinson is with us, obviously now with the Cincinnati Bengals, of course, former Navy midshipman. Landon, a couple of things that jump out to me about this opportunity. You go late in the draft, right? Like that's the way that
Mhm.
it works, and that to me is insane because I've got opinions, but there is no way that there were 200 players that were better than you in this draft. But I'll say that, and you can just be the nice guy that I know that you are. But what comes along with going late in the draft is nothing's promised, right? Um,
Right.
given your experiences, given the path that you've taken, how much more prepared were you maybe for, okay, I'm gonna have to go prove myself again, and that's good by me. I'm ready to go do that.
Yeah, no doubt. That's the goal. Obviously, like you said, you go late in the draft, you always have to prove it. No matter where you go in the draft, you got to prove it because the NFL is a whole new level, and being able to go out there and be with the best in the world, you have to prove it every single day. You have to continue to learn and continue to get better. And in my process so far, that's what I've been doing, just trying to soak up knowledge from everyone. I have a lot of veteran players in my room right now, so being able to learn from them, pick their brain, that's how as a younger player you get better and better and show the coaches that you care, enough to get out there and play. And in these preseason games, that's where you really prove your worth for the team. So I'm excited to just continue to do that.
How cool is it to go play in an NFL game? Like I know it's not it's a preseason game, but like just that part of it, like you're going out there in an NFL uniform and taking the field, and there's a very small percentage people that are ever going to get to experience that. Like
Yeah.
what does that feel like at this point in your life?
It's very cool. It's such a blessing, and you really gotta, look back and be like, man, this is, what I'm doing, and I'm getting ready to go out here and take the field at the NFL level. So you just have to be grateful, and you have to really be humble about the experience because it can be gone like that. So every snap that you get, you have to go out there and you have to work hard and just play like it's your last snap. So
All right, so the other thing that's pretty exciting, we've seen some video of you on the other side of the line of scrimmage, right? And like I know you can't give away state secrets, but like how exciting is that like they sort of see you that way? And yeah, I'm thinking about like Pat Ricard, who's been, obviously a very successful fullback in the NFL. He was a defensive lineman at Maine. Now
mhm.
he's become a full-time fullback, but he started his career kind of playing both sides of the ball. Can you walk me through like what that conversation has been like? Like what I know the answer is I'm going to do anything they ask me to do, but
Yeah.
like what is that been like getting to do it, and how excited are you about the possibility of that?
It's awesome. Coach Pitcher, our offensive coordinator, he came to me early on in camp. Was like, "Hey, Landon, have you ever played fullback?" And I was like, "I sure have." Actually, at the Army Navy game last year, I had the opportunity to block for the last first down there to win the game. So that was super cool. So he was like, "Yeah, like I'll be tapping on your shoulder here in a little bit." And I was like, "Okay." So yeah, so I was able to sit in on some offensive meetings and install some plays, and I was out there at practice and running fullback. So it's really cool. It's such a blessing to be able to be that multi,
Yeah.
dimensional player. Be able to play offense, play defense, and even some special teams as well. So just trying to be as useful as I can, like you said, to be as useful as I can to the team.
How much had you done that? Like at even at the academy, had you been sneaking in and getting an occasional practice rep, or was it just sort of like thrown on you? Hey, dude, you're big. Just get out there and help us finish this thing.
No, it was at Navy. I practiced it a good bit. I
Okay.
remember it was like at least once or twice a week. I'd get in there and practice a few, fullback reps, and we ran it. I think only a couple times in the Army Navy game last year. So I definitely practiced it a little bit, and then obviously we did a few walkthroughs here at the Bengals, and then we were able to do it full speed in practice the other day. So it was super cool, and it's fun just being able to just go in there and just hit someone.
Man, not just hit somebody. There's that possibility that you could get the ball at the 1 yard line, and
That's it.
phew, that would be really cool.
Yes,
Landon, the
sir.
way that the opinions have maybe changed about Navy football, and obviously, like before you arrived, there was a period of great success.
Hmm.
You have multiple players drafted last year. And I'm sure you guys have thought about like this possibility of squaring off you and Eli, for example,
Hmm.
which is just crazy. Um,
Yeah.
have you sensed like as you've arrived that like maybe there's less of wait, really Navy? Like have you sensed that maybe the opinion of the program and the respect that the program has is maybe changed a little bit as you've arrived in the NFL?
Yeah, I think that no matter what, like people always see, the academy and academy football as different, but I think it's definitely more common now to be like, oh, okay, like he's coming out of a service academy, right? Like I think that's it's definitely more common now, which is such a blessing. And I'm glad that Eli and I were able to add to that narrative. But I think it's always something that it's a hard nose. You're getting a hard nose, you're getting a hard worker that's going to go do whatever it takes to win the game. So I think that's something that the academy is more known for now, and I think it's super cool that we're able to come out of the academy, represent the academy in a different light, and be able to spread the service aspects, represent the just the difference between just a normal coming out of a typical football school versus an academy, and I think it's such a blessing to be able to do that.
All right, I know, and I gotta let you go. Two things real quick. One, I need to know your confidence level as Braxton takes over this year. Obviously, got some great experience, looked really good when he was on the field. Do you feel like they're prepared to take that jump and go win the league? The one thing that maybe you guys weren't able to do. Do you feel like the guys that are left behind, despite losing some significant pieces, are ready to go do that?
I think so, absolutely. I think the Braxton and the entire offense and the entire defense as well. I think they are. There's a lot of guys who have been more in the background the past few years, but I think they are hungry. I think they're so ready to get out there and play, and I can't wait to watch them. I think they're going to do great and accomplish all the goals that they want to accomplish.
And then for everybody that doesn't know, can you explain, like for you, because I know service still matters significantly to you. Can you explain what that's going to look like for you and why that's still so important to you even as you jump into your NFL journey?
Yeah, coming out of the academy, service is something that is still, of course, very important to me, and it's so cool to be able to, to represent in a different way, if that makes sense. Right now I'm in the reserves and Marine Corps reserves because I
Yep.
service like the Marine Corps. So being able to still wear my uniform, when I'm at certain events, and being able to walk into the stadium with my uniform and just represent the Marine Corps and the Service Academy in a different light, and just spread that goodness that it represents. So that's something that's more of what I'm doing right now as I'm playing football. But in the off season, I'll go and do different public speaking events for the Marine Corps, and I'll go and just talk more about just spread the wellness of the Marine Corps. So that's more of what my role is right now while I'm playing football. So it's a
Awesome.
blessing, and it's super cool to be able to do that for the academy.
And we remain very thankful for that service. Landon Robinson, you've always been a great dude. You're a hell of a player. It's going to be awkward that first time that you guys face the Ravens. It's going to be some
Right.
conflicted feelings, but we're going to root for you forever, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for spending the time with us. Best of luck as camp
Thank
continues.
you so much.